What's going on, guys? I had to push it off a lot because I had shit to do. So I had to get dinner made. I'm actually going to be eating that before we do the movie. So there's going to be a just chatting session where we can chill for a bit before the movie starts up. Um, and then I tried to trim my facial hair, and I had to deal with the trimmer not wanting the guards that I wanted to use at certain lengths. Like I used a 2 on the sides and a 3 here, and I left the mustache. I tried to do all that shit, and all that was just fine. But lo and behold, when I try and get a guard off, it wouldn't fucking come off. And I'm not weak. I'm not weak. When you're like having to put all your fucking might into it, the type of might that makes people twice your size a little too afraid. And this is how you know it was ridiculous. This is how you know it's ridiculous. See this finger right here? You see how there's redness there? I tried to take that guard off, and it ripped my nail past the cuticle. Past the cuticle. That shit fucking hurt. It was bleeding. So at like 5 minutes before, what am I having for dinner? I'm having like poor man's Italian. I got like 2 Hot Pockets. I got a thing of Pop-Tarts for dessert and like a little bit of cereal. That's what I'm eating because I haven't really ate much today. But yeah, that redness there is from when the nail was pulling back and there was blood because it ripped past the cuticle. The shit fucking hurt. So that's why I pushed it back to like 8:35. Then I was having issues because I couldn't use this finger very much. So then I pushed it back another 20 minutes. And I even ran a few minutes late after that. But we can just chill for a bit. I need to go grab my water. So 1 second while I go grab my water. I'll literally be back in less than 30 seconds. I put my water in another room because I was having to carry my shit in here. All right, I got my water. We're good. Let me, we're trying to scoot this shit back. If I move this up, let's see. I guess that ain't too bad. Yeah, I got a few Hot Pockets. So anyone who hops in, one of you guys gonna have to. I intended the movie to be started like, I wanted to start on time, and the movie would have started like, let's see, it's 9, about 40 minutes ago. So late. Oh, that's pretty cool. I had a Count Dooku one. That was one of the lightsabers I had. I have yet to get into a story time about what happened to them. I'll put it mildly because I don't want to bring the mood down. I used to live in Kentucky before moving down to where I am in Tennessee now, and I lived with different side of family, and we don't get along. We can't even be in the same room basically for longer than like probably 10 seconds. And a lot of that was due to some of the things that happened behind closed doors that I won't get into a lot of detail about. But the day I left to come down here, it was so petty and ridiculous that I had to end up leaving just about everything throughout my whole childhood that was there, with the exception of a few changes of clothes and toiletries that you would take and let as if you were just going to spend a few nights at a friend's house. So I had Transformers, you know, like the Transformers that would go between the vehicle and the actual like robot. I had a bunch of those. I had a lot of clothes. I had some Star Wars action figures. What I would give to have Obi-Wan and Anakin from the Clone Wars back. Jeez, what I would give for that. And I couldn't tell you how many lightsabers, at least 10. But I was so agitated and wanted out of there because some people, the people couldn't comprehend that they had messed up and driven a wedge that was unfixable. So that's where all my lightsabers are. So, yeah, T-Bone, it does suck. It does suck. And, well, if you got it at GameStop, that must be like the FX, no, the Black Series lightsaber. Because I know they have like Black Series shit at GameStop. I'm just not having a good night. Because I can't use this finger. I can't even rip the effing Hot Pocket thing right. I'm afraid to use this finger. I'm afraid if I do it, I'll rip the nail off. Gotcha, it's the same, okay. Like, I'm not going to get into the specifics of, like, the people, their names, or what relations they have to me. I just don't like dragging people's name through the mud, even though they think I do. I don't. Basically, if you ever heard me say I get accused of stuff, or I've been through times in my life where I've been accused of stuff, those are the people I'm referencing. I'm not going to answer what relation I have to them, nothing like that. But anyway, they were spewing that BS that I was trying to move out for good. And I didn't want to be around that. Because I knew the longer I was going to stay in there, the more I was going to say something, stuff would escalate. And I was about to turn 18. So, yeah, so me and them aren't exactly on good speaking terms. I haven't even asked ever since I moved, because I don't want to answer to the question of what happened in my childhood shit. I know they ended up either selling it or I knew they ended up either selling it or giving it to somebody. Heck, maybe even destroying it. I mean, they are somewhat petty. So, I'd rather not have that answered. Or what happened to it. Because I know they sure as hell don't have. Because they've moved. They don't live in that same house in Kentucky anymore. They live in the Smokies area. Yeah, I appreciate that. I still have to deal with shit too. That's why sometimes I'll get a little irritated when people accuse me of being stuff that I know I'm not and that my followers know I'm not. That's why I get a little bit overboard, because that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the time I was from when I was like 10 to when I was almost 18 having to put up with that crap. But let's put stuff in a brighter mood. Before the stream last night, had you seen my Halloween video? Okay. How good or bad did you think it was? In the moment, like in the moment, how good or bad was it? Because right now, looking back on it, Probably when I posted it, I probably would have gave that effing video rating like a 7 or something. But now looking back on it, I give it max like a 3. And since everyone in the freaking live chat and the live stream was voting 2, and I have no one freaking voting 1, it's going to stay up there. But what is happening? I guess it's slightly better. I know. The music was awful. But I was trying to find stuff that fit like an eerie horror themed vibe. And that was about the only track. I must have been up late at night editing. I don't know what made me made that decision in my head go, I'm just gonna repeat it. I don't know. Maybe it was just a late night and I just got agitated. I don't know. I can't remember what made me come to that decision. But while we're still talking and chilling, this isn't like anything official, but it's something I've contemplated. When I get done with my film script, I've contemplated opening it up from anywhere from 1 to 3 people to view it. So like they can read it and then give me feedback on it. And if that person wants to promote it on their own social medias, they can, but they can't spoil it. So they can't say any like specific story beats or plot points or anything like that. But they can mention they can mention like, oh, well, these types of characters are in it. I enjoyed or didn't enjoy what was used and so on and so forth. Oh man. I used to have a bunch of wrestling figures. Back when I was in the WWE, I had a buttload of them. I had like 1 or 2 wrestling rings, like the ones with the mats would like bounce up and down, like when you apply pressure to it. I had like a John Cena one. I had a CM Punk one, Undertaker. I had Kane, but it was Kane without the mask, so it was like an older Kane, but not like full on retro with the mask Kane. It was actually like maskless Kane from like the early 2000s. And I had a bunch more. I think I had a Triple H one at one point. I even had an R-Truth one. I had a bunch. And I ended up just giving them all away to my cousin. Because he actually watches wrestling still. I don't. I quit watching when CM Punk left. Now, don't get me wrong, I started to get into AEW a bit, but then I kind of fell off. They're a lot better than WWE. But they need to get like 1 or 2 more mega stars, in my opinion, before like I fully get invested again in AEW. Yeah, I feel that. Hell, I collect freaking Funko Pops. Oh, shit. I got that alarm I have from close. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you've seen my Funko collection. I think you've seen it behind me a few times, but what's interesting about my Funkos is what you're seeing is just the front layer. There's like two. There's like two more stacks. I think is it two or one? There's like one more layer in behind all that. I think one or two. I have a Daryl one. I have a when it comes to my Walking Dead Funkos, I have a Carl, a Daryl, and a Negan. And when it comes to Star Wars, I have some of the sequel trilogy characters, even though they're hidden back in the back. I don't like to look at them too much anymore. I have the Han Solo from like the young Han Solo. I've got older Han Solo. Other ones I got. I've got a Kylo Ren one. I've got a red Darth Vader. I think that's all the Star Wars I have. Oh, I have a long-haired one. Yeah, I have a long-haired Daryl. He's one of the first Funkos I got, so I didn't know that like keeping them in their box like made them a valuable collectible or something. But I have that one. But yeah, like Negan and Daryl, like this Daryl and like the first Negan pop that was made were like the first Funkos I ever got. Well, I hope I didn't break that. Fuck, man, where the hell did it go? I hope you don't see my plumber's crack. I don't know where the F that thing went. It was a rare one, too. Where in the F did it? Oh, there it went. Not having a good night so far. If you've seen It Chapter 2, I have this little mini Funko. And it's like very rare. It's like 1 out of 72. So it's like the rarest one in that It Chapter 2 set. That's like one of the few times in my life where luck's actually swung my way. And that's why I already have the movie right here, so it won't take me long to put it in. Get that shit loaded up. I need to do that in a bit for my manga because I'm wanting to start buying manga because I'm starting to get into anime because of Tokyo Ghoul, and I want to buy the Tokyo Ghoul manga at some point. And I need to get a shell. I need to get shelves for manga and shelves for more movie stuff because like my movie collection won't fit because what I have in that cabinet thing over there that you've seen a little bit when I walk around in my TikToks, I have my movie collection in there, my gaming collection, my comics, just a bunch of stuff in there, and it's so stuffed, it's hard to like fit some stuff in there. The fact that you have Derrick Henry as a rookie's autograph makes me extremely jealous because he was my favorite Titan ever since he got drafted. And you got Lawans. I bought the Walking Dead comics a certain way. The way I bought the Walking Dead ones was I bought them in the books. You have the individual issues, and then you have like the hardcover books, and I have the first 6 of them. And I need to buy the others at some point. But I did read some of the comics before watching the show. I didn't read all the comics, obviously, because in order to read all the comics, you would have had to have like just gotten done reading them recently, because the comics ended like a year ago, I think. I know how it ended though, to an extent, which even shows more how season 8 really effed up the show, which is why it's my least favorite season. And since you just started buying them, I'm not going to spoil it for you. That's really funny. Now, like, I don't have a that type of luck. But if I ran into Derek at a Walmart on game, like it was something Titans related, maybe it's the draft or maybe it's off season, and I was just looking at Titan stuff, I wanted to throw on Titans gear, I feel like that's when I would run into him. But I really want to run into him. I want him to see me wear his retro jersey, because the Derrick Henry jersey you see me wear sometimes, I got that after his rookie year. And I kept telling people, you're going to call me crazy. You're going to say this is not true and that I'm lying, but I'm telling you the truth here. That I believe Derrick Henry could be a top 5 running back. I didn't think number 1, but I thought he could at least be top 5 if we gave him the carries. And lo and behold, what did he become when we gave him that shot? I'm not saying I'm some type of sports savant. I'm just saying you make enough, like you make enough sports takes, you're bound to get some right. I think they will be, but the problem is with the movies is they're waiting so long to do them. And now with the final season happening, I think we're only going to get like 1 movie. Maybe 2 if they film them back to back in like crunch time. But that would be a grind. And I think at that point, Andrew Lincoln wouldn't want to come back for the final season. Because I know we're supposed to get, originally it's supposed to be a trilogy of movies, but I just don't see that happening. I think Max, we're getting 1 movie so that they can reintroduce them back into the final season towards the end. And then maybe a little after the fact, after you said a little cool down, they do 2 and 3, but I just don't know. You are a hard flexing right now, man. Bro, I actually like AEW a little bit. That'd be funny if I bumped into Dennis Kelly. He's a pretty cool dude. Yeah, I actually like AEW. Like, if AEW can bring CM Punk out of retirement, I'll get into AEW immediately. If they bring him out of retirement and give him a good contract and he goes to AEW, AEW gives you entertaining matches, and they're just entertaining to listen to and watch. They're not like gimmicky with some of the stuff WWE's been doing. But WWE has been doing good with the Fiend stuff. Even though I don't watch that like Raw or SmackDown anymore, what I'll do is I may watch like a Fiend clip here and there. And they still do the Fiend and Alexa Bliss very well. Don't even get me started with that. I was obsessed with him, bro. People are going to call me crazy too, and you're also going to say I'm a liar. I liked him when he was part of the Nexus. Like, leading up to that Money in the Bank match, that's my favorite match, period in wrestling history, and it's up there in terms of one of my favorite sporting events, was the CM Punk John Cena match at Money in the Bank 2011. You know how you can buy like those WWE pay-per-views on like Blu-ray and DVD and shit? Hopefully I can find the 2011 Money in the Bank one, because I love that CM Punk John Cena match. It was so good. Fucking skyscraper. Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, CM Punk is like my favorite wrestler, period. The old school war games. When he blew a kiss and waved goodbye to Vince McMahon, that's why I like him. He's a savage. I think, I don't know if you know too much about why CM Punk left WWE and all that, but like, do your research, watch clips on it. There's like a fan edit out there that edits in an interview of why he left WWE and stuff into like clips of his wrestling career from WWE. It's an amazing video. I have to like try and find it at some point. It's fantastic. And I think what was so beautiful about him is when you watch that video, you're going to start to think that some of his promos had real life shit in it. It was pretty obvious about the beef with Triple H was more than WWE booking. Like, that was real shit. Because he even used Triple H's real name. Like, when they were beefing and confronting each other, he said, "This isn't CM Punk talking to Triple H. This is Phil Brooks talking to Paul Levesque." When he did that, I'm like, bullshit. Somebody about to get their ass kicked. When that happened, I'm like, uh-oh. It's mine too. It's at least my favorite wrestling match ever. And it's up there in terms of like my favorite sporting events ever. Was that match. It was basically two rings with a giant cage around it. I do know about what. Yep. They mistreated him. They made him play matches where he was injured. They made him fight people who weren't trained properly. And don't get me wrong, I like Ryback. You know, like if you watch Ryback's YouTube, you do your research on the guy. He's a cool guy that I'd love to meet. But like he just didn't fit well with CM Punk at the time when they were like, there was just a bunch of shit going on. Never heard of it. I'll check it out at some point. Yeah. Yeah. Cena was able to put up with it though, because for whatever reason, when John Cena, when shit would be going on with him and they'd mistreat him, you know, behind closed doors, he went up to McMahon's and went, "Hey, we shouldn't be doing this shit. We need to do it this, this, and this." And I'm like, okay. CM Punk goes up to him. No. That's what pissed me off, is you could tell that was happening. Like you could watch it. You could watch John Cena go through a down period, and almost like at the flip of a dime, he's on an upswing. CM Punk, when he's going on a downward spiral, you can watch it. They just it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and it was ridiculous. They just don't like them. You may get a rare interview where they're like pretending to jump around the question, but if you go into it, there's some interviews where they, you can tell they just blatantly don't like the guy. Mm-hmm. You want to know what was something funny? That CM Punk roasted John Cena hard when they were beefing was that CM Punk, as an edgy face, because that's what they're called. They call baby faces or heels. He was more of an in between. He was a face, but he acted as like he was a heel, like Stone Cold did. He was like my generation's Stone Cold, is what I view CM Punk to be. He roasted John Cena hard for this, saying how he was outdoing him in merch sales, which was true. He outdid when then the cult of personality shit was going on and he was on his title run. His merch sales were way over John Cena's. Yep, the in between. That's what I like most. That's like I like Becky Lynch there for a solid period too because she was like she was a perfect like woman version of that. She was like an in between when she like found her like the man persona. I would have liked if they would have found a more original name for it, but it was still entertaining to watch. They also wildly mistreated AJ Lee. Oh God, it ain't bad enough that you effed up CM Punk. You mistreated AJ Lee too. And what was so crazy was I didn't learn this until a few weeks after the fact. CM Punk got fired from WWE on his wedding day. Like what the hell, bro? We obviously know he doesn't give a shit, but still, that's still fucked up. That's like the opening to Midsommar. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but that's like the opening to Midsommar, and the boyfriend splits up with the girlfriend at the beginning of the movie. That's what that's like. That happens to me sometimes. When I would have them, I'd break a limb off. But the beauty with those were, I was able to figure out a way to pop them back on. Because I would never break, like the balls. Remember those? Like there'd be like a ball area, like where you put the joint in shit. So like when it would break, I would just pop it back in. Oh, okay. I never was a big Jeff Hardy guy, but I didn't watch WWE at Jeff Hardy's prime. I like him though. He's entertaining to watch the little bits I did get to watch. But like they mistreated AJ Lee too, and she was like my favorite female wrestler of all time. So to learn that they were mistreating her too, I'm just like, oh no, I ain't watching this shit. So I didn't watch WWE for the longest time. Like I just couldn't put up with it. And then I started watching again. I tried watching a few episodes around like the 2017 time, I think. I didn't think it was good at all. And I stopped again. And then I picked it up again towards the beginning of the Fiend gimmick. That's when I started watching it and was like kind of hooked on again for maybe like 2-3 months. I believe that was around when AEW started. And then I was watching both WWE and AEW for a short period of time. Then I ditched WWE, stayed with AEW for a bit, and I just quit watching AEW. So, but I do like AEW, and I would like to pick it up at some point. But I don't have cable or like a television provider. I got streaming. So if there's like a streaming app I could use to watch AEW, I'd do it. You know something crazy about Bray Wyatt? I feel like I'm one of the only people who know this. You ever known of a wrestler by the name of Husky Harris? Look up the wrestler Husky Harris, WWE. That used to be Bray Wyatt. He was Husky Harris. Then he like went irrelevant for a bit. Came back as Bray Wyatt. Went irrelevant for a short period of time. Then he returned as Bray Wyatt and then had the Fiend gimmick. Like he was somebody that, even though he's had some problems with booking and storylines and shit. I know, man. Like he was like, who would remember that? Like to go from Husky Harris to like one of the biggest faces in the company. That's almost impossible, bro. I like that. That's like next to impossible. Holy shit, you might be right. You might be right about that. I didn't think of that. Yep. I mean, it's almost named Husky, so yeah, that's probably what it freaking means, man. How did I not put that connection in there? But I do the clips. I also watch of WWE from time and time again. I really like what they're doing with Alexa Bliss. I like that. Like she's doing phenomenal as like the crazy like female counterpart, partner to the Fiend, bro. That shit is just now that's really good. There's some people though who said it should have been Liv Morgan, and I see the positives to each side. I mean, I like Alexa Bliss a lot. I feel like they chose Alexa because she was like the popular choice, so it was going to have more people intrigued. But I feel like if we're going to get technical, Liv Morgan like very much looks the part more than Alexa. Alexa's doing phenomenal. Like the little bits and pieces I watch. I don't doubt it. It's one of the few intriguing things they got going for them right now. And I mean, Seth does a good heel. I think he was a guy who was always made to be a heel. So, I like Drew recently. When he started to become a face and he went after the title and shit, I liked him then. And I liked him a little bit around like that Chosen One period where he was a lot younger. I liked him a little bit then. Not too long though. Bobby Lashley, I've always been kind of on. He's not bad. But I just was never like. So. Alright. I got done eating enough so we can finally start up the movie. And we've only been live streaming for 40 minutes. It's a bop, man. I wish he would have, the I Dream Broken Dreams, I wish he would have came out to that at WrestleMania. That would have been amazing if he did that. Apparently, he was wanting to do it. Like he wanted to do that. He wanted to come out in his old theme song at WrestleMania, but for whatever reason, it didn't happen. It's rumored. I don't know if that's true or not, but that would have been amazing if he would have came out to that old theme song at the title match at WrestleMania. People would have flipped their shit because it's the perfect full circle. Because if he wins, he really is the chosen one. If he wins that match, so it's the perfect full circle moment. Oh shit! I had my effing thing in the way. Why is my because the camera's freaking over here. Like, why is my freaking finger in the way? Let me get that. Right there. Yeah, it seems good enough. Right. Now we can finally put the movie in and start to watch. Man, I never thought I would have this many issues. I think if the freaking if my nail thing didn't happen, I'd be okay. I feel like we would have started on time. I may have been eating a little bit during the movie, but that's it. Man, I guess I just should have never decided to trim up my facial hair. I just went, I just want to stay scraggly for a few more days. I guess that's what the world was telling me, is that you can't freaking trim your facial hair. But no, not today. Like, yeah, I feel I got the gimmick. Let's see. Get up. No, I need to have the volume around. Maybe that. I don't want to get copyright claimed. A lot of my movie reactions have been getting. I mean, my watch party's been copyright claimed, and I'm having to like delete portions of them. And I don't want to get this one copyright claimed. That's what happened to my stream last night. It got copyright claimed. My stream got copyright claimed when we played one of the Seether songs that got copyright claimed, and I had to like cut that portion out. Luckily, it was only one, though. All right, we got more people popping in now. Luckily, to the more people that are popping in, we're actually about to start the movie finally. All right? It's a long story, but we're actually about to start the movie. So, you can finally, if you're here to watch the movie and be for the watch party, you're finally coming in at the right time. Because earlier I was just eating and talking. I know, man. Like, Santiago is a freaking legend for that shit. Like, he just does it. That was all him. Like, I gave him, like, the vibe for the movie, and he just, unknowingly, I didn't even give him any talk about, like, what poster to make or, the style of it, and he just made it and sent it to me on a whim. I'm like, holy shit, bro, this is great. So, like, if you've watched the Santiago episode, like, that's him. That's the guy who does the music for my move. He's done the music for Internal Fracture, and as I mentioned in my last stream, he's talked to me and is wanting to redo a lot of the music, if not at least some of it, redo it, send the new versions to me, and see if we use those in the movie, because he feels he has a better idea. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you feel you have a better idea, I have no reason not to trust you, because you've been killing it so far. But yeah, like between my podcast logo, which is him, and my Damsels and Daggers poster, my Internal Fracture one. He hasn't done a one for Alone yet, but that's because Alone is like, it's nothing more than like a rough idea with a little bit of a story summary. So it's in the early phases, so there's no point in getting like posters and artwork for it yet. I may even abandon it. I may even like just do away with it and not actually pursue it. Is it in there? Okay, it's in there. But yeah, man, that poster is phenomenal. I am pretty excited for Damsels and Daggers when I get to that one. Because that one should be like our most affordable movie, honestly. Because like with that one, we don't need to worry about like a bunch of spectacle and shit. Because like it's going to be shot in black and white. it's going to be mostly like secluded type stuff. The reason why it's going to be mostly secluded is like the budget is going to be low, obviously, but it's going to be shot in black and white, and to an extent, like we may not have black and white film, obviously, because film's an expensive medium to actually shoot on real film, but it's going to be black and white. Like the final version of the movie is going to be all black and white. Like I'm going to go full on in, like make it retro, old school type style for that movie. Hopefully, when we finally get around to like the budgeting for it. Hey Hunter, how's it going? When I finally get that going, we can do like a Indiegogo or a Kickstarter and it gets going well. But can I like change the camera? Can change it. All right. There we go. I got it in. So FYI, I have the movie in right now. What did I think of the draft? If I had to give us a letter grade, I'd give us about a B+ or an A-. Probably a B+. If we would have got a receiver a little bit earlier, like maybe third round instead of drafting Monty Ross, we got like one of those more upper echelon receivers that people were talking about, I would have gave us an A-. But a lot of good bargain picks, a lot of good like value picks. I mean, like Rashad Weaver, hopefully like the legal stuff going on with him clears up. That was a good pick, especially for round 4. Des Fitzpatrick, I mean, he feels like Des Fitzpatrick and Racey McGrath are both more raw. Yeah, I did hear about it. Rashad Weaver, yeah. The last I know of it is he had an interaction with a woman, and the woman claims that he punched her. Hey, Pulley, how's it going? Yeah, but I'm about to press play, so let me do that. And then I'll like stop it real quick so everyone can get on like a certain frame. Oh, never mind. That's the freaking 20th Century Fox thing. General Kenobi. Now that was a good one. That was a good one. You are a bold one. Because I'm not going to show the movie, Hunter. I'm just showing it for a frame. That's how I don't get copyright claimed, Hunter, is because I'm not going to be showing the whole movie like that. So see, I have it pulled up here. 7 seconds in. So if anyone wants to sync up with me right now, you got a chance. At 7 seconds, 20th Century Fox. So that answers your question of how I don't get copyrighted. I show it like this so that people can get synced up with me, and then I turn it back to me, and then we watch it. I do still get copyright claims from time to time because the audio gets too loud in the background. So if I can get a better setup with like a monitor, like PC type shit, and I can plug in my headphones, then I'll do it that way. Because you see like a lot of more upper echelon YouTubers, like I know Star Wars Theory does this, and he does it a lot. Like Star Wars Theory will end up like he'll end up doing stuff like having like a timer up in the corner with headphones on, so you don't hear a single thing. All you hear is his reaction. And he's cool, and like he doesn't get any issues. So at one point, I hope to get like that type of equipment at some point. Yeah, yeah. If I showed the whole movie like that, this stream would get taken down. If it somehow lasts all the way through, it'll be taken down within like a minute of it being up. But yeah, like my 300 watch party got copyright claimed, and I had to cut like 2 minutes out. My Watchmen one surprisingly didn't get any claims, I don't think. But I'm going to get situated, and then I'll tell everyone when to like. Oh, you have no idea. I only have 50 subscribers, so like I ain't got to worry too much about their strict rules because they're going to take it a little bit easier on me because I'm not monetized, so they can't milk me and gouge me for shit because I ain't got it. But to these big channels, they're ridiculous. They'll copyright claim you for humming. humming. Like I watched like Real Rejects. They got copyright claimed for saying the words Tom Cruise in that style of the Mission Impossible theme song. Just saying the word Tom Cruise over and over. It was some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen. I'm not lying, Paul. The background? Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? It's very fire. Very smart individual. With a good eye. I know. I laughed my ass off when that happened, bro. Imagine, like, here's what it is. I'm not going to go too in depth because I don't want to get copyright claim. They're going, Tom Cruise, Tom Cruise, Tom, like all that shit. Like that's what they were doing. Just that. And they were just saying Tom Cruise like that and it got copyright claimed. How is that human? Like, why does that make any sense? It makes absolutely no sense. How is that copyright claim material? I get it if I had my movie here turn up to like full 40 volume and you could hear every word and every sound. Uh, what the hell? All right. I already accidentally pressed play again. I'm at 14 seconds at the Lucasfilm logo. So if you want to get synced up again, I'm at 15 seconds in Lucasfilm logo. There's 29 different levels of closed captioning. Like, what the fuck? God damn. I got one for every fucking language. I guess the people that live on Mars can come over here and, get their language on here. It really is. It is for real. Like, this is a galaxy far, far away representing a galaxy. Now that I got my corny joke out of the way and everyone wants to leave, I can start with no viewers. I haven't. I haven't. I may watch it at some point, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know whether I'll watch it or not. Like, it revolves around like Lucasfilm and the decisions they made and how they've treated certain people, and I'm just, ugh, I just don't like it. If you want to know my opinions, if you scroll far enough on my TikTok, I think it's there. If it's not there, it's either for friends only, and I'll follow you real quick if you want to check it out because me and you, I think we're cool enough. You can take it even if you disagree with me. But I'm very strong in this opinion. It revolves around someone by the name of Gina Carano and how I feel about that situation. It revolves around, and this is built up stuff. I don't like how they've been treating Star Wars Theory. I don't like how they've been treating people in the fandom who don't like the sequels. You don't see Star Wars representatives bashing prequel fans at the time, or people who didn't like the prequels at the time the prequels came out. You didn't see that happening. It wasn't happening. So, but now that they're going to do that with people who don't like the sequels, I don't like that hypocrisy, if you will. That's not a good standard for Lucasfilm. That's not, you know. So I just don't like how they've been acting to certain people. I don't like the inconsistencies with allowing a man by the name of Pedro Pascal to post whatever he posts on social media, but to condemn Gina Carano when she posts anything. I don't like how they are talking about her all for women, strong, powered, independent thinking women, and yet they had a strong, powerful, independent thinking woman and they fired her. So it's hard for me to support Lucasfilm, even though I love Star Wars. And I really like Indiana Jones. Like, it sucks because I want to support them. I want to support them. But I can't knowingly, like, like, I might watch it. Maybe. If I hear enough good things about it and Lucasfilm starts rubbing me the right way with some of their decisions and how they treat certain people, then yes. And I almost thought of not doing this today and waiting till the 25th because a lot of people, like even Lucasfilm, embraces this as Star Wars Day and wait until the 25th to do this watch party because the 25th is the anniversary of the release of the first Star Wars movie, May 25th. I thought about waiting until then if I didn't do it today. Like I'm just not really supportive of Lucasfilm right now. So it's taken a lot of me just to watch this movie. But this is George Lucas Star Wars, so now that I have played that, and I did enjoy it. It's not quite as good as the Force Unleashed 2, which is like 9 out of 10 minimum for me. But yes, I have played it and I did enjoy it. All right, I'm gonna press play. Right, 15 seconds. Lucasfilm logo. If you have it synced up and you have it ready to go, I'm gonna press play in 3, 2, 1. All right, press play. The one exception to all this stuff, though, is I may watch the Kenobi show. If it gets enough positive response, because Hayden's returning too, I may watch that. Oh, and if they bring Gina back, I've heard a lot of rumors that they're considering bringing Gina back. Disney is. If they bring her back to play Cara Dune, and Gina knows what she's signing back on for. So if she knowingly signs back on, is willing to put up with it, or she is in support of it, or she can deal with it, or whatever, she's her own person. If she signs back on, and then some like changing of the times type stuff happens at Lucasfilm, I'm fully back invested, and I'll watch anything and everything. But right now, I'm very picky to even consider watching certain things because I'm just not in support of how certain things have been run right now. It sucks because Star Wars was my childhood. I like my favorite show of all time. Some days you ask me, I'll probably say is the Clone Wars. So it's hard for me to have that the preference and opinion I have right now towards that company, but I do. And now you have one of the best openings in film history. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you don't like the prequels. This opening sequence, this opening fight sequence is one of the best freaking just amazing. Oh yeah, I played Assassin's Creed games. I have the Ezio collection. I've been playing some of those. I haven't played Valhalla in a while, but I've gotten a decent way into Valhalla. And I think that one's really good. Valhalla is like an improvement. I have an unpopular opinion. I don't understand why people can like Assassin's Creed Origins. I just don't get it. The only thing intriguing to me about Assassin's Creed Origins is the setup, like the area. Ancient Egypt is a cool idea. That's about it. I disagree. I know it now to be an unpopular opinion, but I max give it like a 4. I know he's the first assassin. I'm gonna turn the volume down a little bit. I don't want to deal with Disney coming at my ass for any potential copyright claim. I ain't about to put up with that shit. My favorite Assassin's Creed game is like Black Flag, and nothing has come really all that close to touching it. That's why I got so excited when they announced the Now it changes, like with certain articles I read. Some articles they say it's a manga. Some articles they say it's an animated series. So I don't know. Whatever we get when we get it, I'm gonna check it out with the follow up to Black Flag. But I like that. I like Valhalla a lot. I enjoy Assassin's Creed 2 a lot. Uh, Syndicate's decent. Not fantastic, but decent. So I know that that's an unpopular opinion to not like Origins, but I just don't. It's probably my least favorite, honestly. Yeah, maybe that's what turned me off because I didn't like the characters. I just didn't I'd get attached to anybody. And plus, that was the first year I think they changed the controls, so I was kind of being a little petty that way too. So now, if you're making it difficult for me to know what how the fuck to do certain shit, Odyssey, I'm probably not going to check out Odyssey either because the thing with Odyssey is it's so different than what the typical Assassin's Creed game is. Like I've like heard so many people talk about how it does things and it doesn't even feel like an Assassin's Creed game, so I'm probably not going to check that out. Like I played the Buzz Droids over here. Here goes R4. Yeah, oh dear. Um, yeah, I've heard a lot of people say it's not even in the style of Assassin's Creed. I've heard a lot of people say that. But yeah, when it comes to Origins, like besides like the setup for it, that's about it within stuff in terms of like what I like for it. Like I like the location. Like ancient Egypt is a great location to do an Assassin's Creed game. Like that's interesting. Wow. Ah, my favorite character and my favorite Jedi, and also my favorite Force user. Just Anakin is just unbeatable, which is why I'm so glad Hayden's returning. So Hayden, that's the only exception. Hayden Christensen may make me watch the Kenobi show, even with my grievances about certain things. He's someone I've always really liked, like because I grew up watching. I watched the prequels first. First time I watched Star Wars, I watched the prequels first. So they've always had a special place in my heart. So they've always been my favorite trilogy. Like I like Attack of the Clones more than a lot of people do. Like I like it more than the typical person. Like I have it ranked around the middle of my Star Wars ranking. Now Phantom Menace I have it towards the bottom, but Attack of the Clones I have it towards the middle. And then Revenge of the Sith numero uno. Just it beats out even Clone Wars. I said, drop him. The R2D2 bit here is pretty cool. You see how you can just like take out two big old effing droids. This is the perfect thing for like wrong place, wrong time meme. Obi-Wan trying to contact R2, and he's literally like, the droids are just on the other side of that freaking like storage unit type thing. Yeah, I can see that. We need to be going up. I love how there's these they're so big, right? These big droids, right? They're so big and like the top, they're very broad, supposed to be intimidating, and the voice is, "Hey, you!" like like I would have liked if their voice could have been, "Hey, you!" I'm like, "Oh, okay," but the voice is, "Hey, you!" Loose wire. Okay. Why am I just now picking up on shit as if it's the first time I'm watching it? It's tough. It might be. It might be. If we're just counting movies, probably. Probably. If we're counting like books, comics, shows, and movies, probably DC. Probably like DC stuff. If we're going based off movies, then yeah, it's probably Star Wars. R.I.P. Christopher Lee. Now we're getting a real lightsaber fight. Anytime I see Dooku, it reminds me of the time I used to have a Dooku lightsaber. Those lightsabers I used to have, there ain't no telling how much they're worth. Sucks, man. I wish I still had them. I like Pirates of the Caribbean. I just don't know if it's my favorite. And I like Transformers too. Like Transformers, like the first Transformers movie by Michael Bay was the first PG-13 movie I ever watched. Because I watched it when it came out in like a drive-in theater. I was like, I can't remember if I was 6 or 7 at the time that movie came out. I think it was 7. So like, there's a lot of nostalgia with me and the Transformers movies. But the only Transformers movie I saw in a theater was gosh, what was it? Age of Extinction. That was it. That was the only one I watched in the theater. And then I watched the first Transformers movie in like from 2007 in a drive-in theater. And then I watched Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon and The Last Night through like rentals first, or just got them bought and watched them. This is a divisive take if I answer that. If I answer which one I prefer over that, I've answered it so many times on my TikTok. So I'm just going to say, if people want the answer to that, go to my TikTok. Yeah, I watched Spider-Man 2 and Pirates of the Caribbean so much as a kid. Parents had to take it away. Why did your parents take it away? They took away the movies you watched? That was stupid. I can relate to shit like that. As I got older, where I used to live, like I lived in the same like house primarily and same with the same guardians primarily until I was like a month before I was 18. Um, from the time I was like 10 to the time I was 17, I lived with these two like guardians thing, and it was just ugh. So I relate to some of that stuff if that's what you're talking about. Like if they like took movies away from you or your ability to watch them, I know what you're talking about. Because like when I would get older, they would lower the age limit. Like, and when I lower it, meaning they would like bring the age limit down. Like if I was 13, I could only watch shit that was intended for like 12-year-olds. When I was 15, I could only watch shit intended for like 8-year-olds. It was ridiculous. Oh, you watched it so much every day. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I also appreciate the fact that you have faith in me to blow up and shit. I appreciate that. My real dream though would be to make it as a filmmaker. So this is just kind of like a passion thing. Like I enjoy doing YouTube. Certain times when it's in my thing. But yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't care if anyone wants to promote it or anything like that and share it. I am all for that. If it gets hey, anytime, I have no problem with that. Just a little camera sticks out. Grievous with that iconic, binge binge smoke cough. What's so crazy is R2 is probably one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and he literally doesn't say a word. A droid with manners. Excuse me. Your reputation to be a little older. General Grievous, you're shorter than I expected. Jedi scum. Don't do Anakin. Try not to upset him. Why would you be mad about it? It's great. It's a great theme. It's great music. Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL collaboration was just chef's kiss. And then Junkie XL built upon that in the Snyder Cut, and it was just even more amazing. That's something I struggle to believe. Like, how would that droid be able to do that? You cut its head off and it's still freaking twirling. Like, how? A little weak move. Sees he's surrounded. Oh, I can't beat both these Jedi, so I'm just going to blow a hole out the window. I can make fun of General Grievous, though. He's a very good looking character though. Like the design of Grievous is like amazing. Part of me would love to see like Grievous in in human form before becoming the cyborg, almost android like creature we know him to be in the movies. I'd love to see someone tackle that. And then like we get to see him as a human and then like the event that turned him into General Grievous we know from the movies and from the Clone Wars. Yeah, me was Age of Extinction was the only one I watched in the theater. And when I watched it in the theater, I thought Age of Extinction was pretty decent. Nothing amazing, but decent. Now I think it's kind of eh. It's good. It's got its good elements to it, but like if we're talking Transformers movie, but now if you ask me about the last night, I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. I do not like that movie at all. At all. I thought it was awful. I like how like off the bat, Palpatine does not like R2D2. You could tell in like his little glaring looks he gives to R2 when he's stressing out when they're crashing that ship. Just keeps giving him those glares. You can tell he just automatically hates them. Oh, my phone's over there. And now we're about to get to my favorite Star Wars couple. But I'm biased. Anakin's my favorite character, so. I don't know how comfortable I am saying this on a live, so I don't know if I should say it. But you know how people have like celebrity like crushes when they're young? And you know, like you can have those and like you have like your first one and all that stuff. Well, Natalie Portman's Padme was my first one. Yes, she is. Even today, Natalie Portman's still beautiful. And she's a great actress too. I like her so much as Padme in this that like I watch most of her other stuff, and the stuff I haven't seen of her is on my radar and stuff I definitely want to check out. Like Annihilation. If you haven't watched the movie Annihilation, watch it. It's really good. And she is really good in it. Oh, it's good. It's good. If you're into sci-fi, trippy sci-fi, and you like Natalie Portman, it's awesome. Plus, Oscar Isaac's in it, aka Poe Dameron. Thing with Oscar Isaac is, I liked him in everything I've watched outside of Star Wars. And no hate to people who like Poe Dameron. Poe Dameron's an interesting, he's an entertaining character. I'll say that. But to me, he feels like a great value Han Solo. Like the way they handled him. You know what I mean? The way his character was written was very Han Solo esque. But like Oscar Isaac is great in Ex Machina, and he's really good in Annihilation. Yeah, Oscar Isaac is a really good actor. I believe he was in the film Operation Finale, if I'm correct, about like one of the like Nazi generals. Now that's a very slow burn of a movie, but I thought his acting was really good. I thought the writing could have been better and a little more entertaining for the pacing it was, but I thought it was good for a one watch movie. What was so beautiful about the fact that I watched the Star Wars movies before I watched the Clone Wars was I was I knew that, spoiler alert, as if people don't already know, that Palpatine is the bad guy. He's the Emperor. That Chancellor Palpatine is the Emperor. Like I knew of that going into Clone Wars, So like the whole time I was watching his character, I'm just like, somebody catch on. But we already know no one does. But it was just like I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, I've played the Arkham games. Well, I mean, I've played Arkham City, and I love Arkham City. And I've watched gameplay of the other Arkham games. But the only Arkham game I've played is City. Oh, it's definitely true. And oh, the nightmare that started it all. What makes this even more sad is I'm one of those people that believes that Palpatine put that nightmare in Anakin to trigger his, fear so that he would have that inclination. I believe that. If you're telling me the leader of the Sith was also the leader of the Republic and he's able to balance both of those, then yeah, I would like to think he can play chess and not checkers in that situation, be able to know how to do certain stuff. Yeah, I'm not saying that I think the games are bad. I think they're great games. It's just the only game I played is Arkham City. There are games I want to check out though and play at some point. I probably want to buy. I'd like there to be a physical version on disc to buy like what they're doing right now, like on the Microsoft Store. There's like you could buy an Arkham trilogy for like what was it, like $30 maybe, but then you could like upgrade to like 60 or 70, and you get like a bunch of like exclusive shit. I may do that at some point, but I'd have to get like a bunch of eh, like I'd have to get like an Xbox, store card or something, credit. Pulley. Anyone is easy to manipulate once they've lost somebody they loved by attempting to a- avoid their feelings. He tried to avoid the feelings that told him to go search for his mother. He ignored them, ignored them, ignored them, and then finally listened to them, and then she died. So once he started getting those feelings about Padme, he didn't want to go through that same shit again. And he already over the years built up a connection with Palpatine. I don't think he's easy to manipulate. I just think he already went through something that sucked. He already went through a tragedy. He didn't want to experience another one the same way by not listening and not doing something about it earlier, which is why he listened, because the only person that seemed to listen to him about Padme and give him any type of hope or input was Palpatine. Y'all know how that ended, though. I appreciate that. If I were to do gaming, it would probably be a Twitch. Twitch would be like way down the line, though, because I'd have to get like a good setup and everything. So that would have to be like I'd have to pop off and get some money for a good Twitch setup, but I'd do it at some point. I mean, I like gaming. That's if I'm not posting a TikTok or watching a movie. If and chances are, if I'm doing that and I ain't working on a film script, I'm playing a video game. Ain't that the bet? Ain't that great advice? Think about this. You have a nightmare of you losing your significant other, and you already had a nightmare about someone close to you dying, and then they died literally in your arms. But whether or not they died in your arms, then you go to someone you're supposed to trust and value their input, and they tell you just to let go. Like, bitch, the fuck? How am I supposed to let go? Yeah, I mean, that's what I'd probably do, but I have to get like a multiple camera setup for that. Or I mean, I could use my phone to like show my face. I just wouldn't know how to like start the streams and stuff to like show the game and whatnot. You shouldn't have trusted him. You should have said, "No, I don't trust you, Palpatine. I don't trust you." In that conversation before it even starts. I love that ominous line more than you know. Mm-hmm. Anakin's my favorite. No one's topping him. Period. Nobody. Anakin's my favorite Star Wars character. And he is one of my favorite characters, period, in storytelling, but he's at least my favorite Star Wars character. In his defense, it is pretty outrageous to get put on the council and not be called master. It is unheard of. In his defense. So I mean he's not wrong. There's always one thing I've thought about Star Wars that I've never seen anyone do. You know how these movies all focus on the Jedi, right? And that's great. But there's so many Sith. Like we don't get to see Plagueis in live action. We haven't gotten to see, gosh, what was his name? Is it Nihilus? Revan? But there's so many older like Sith we haven't seen. I want that to be done in like a film series in Star Wars that focuses on the Sith and Darth Bane. Like I want that. I want a film series focused on the Sith dealing with the Jedi and battling the Jedi. So we get a film series set in the Sith's perspective. That's something I'd like to see. We've gotten the Jedi's perspective. Now let's get the Sith's perspective. That's something I'd love to do at some point if no one else decides to take it that route. And it could just be done the Star Wars story route. It doesn't have to be like an own like canon, if you will, to like a main canon franchise. It could just be its own little like film series off to the side. But I'd like to see stories told from a Sith perspective. Well, they need to stop talking about it and announce it before I start making scripts for it, and I start, thinking, a wishing upon a star that, an unknown dude like me can get anything done. I guess I don't know what the fuck at what point I was saying anything to that question. I hope they do something along those lines with somebody like I like someone I know that can make it competently and make it well. Yeah, it's pretty evident you don't trust him, Master Windu. You're pretty blunt about telling him to take his seat. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. My favorite one though that I would do, like I would really want to do, is Plagueis and Palpatine. That duo. We get a bit of a Plagueis origin, a bit, and then we get him interacting with Palpatine and then getting Palpatine to the dark side. I'd love to see that. Now we know through like I think books and stuff of how that happened, but I'd love to see it translated to live action. That would be something I'd love to see. Now this hits. I'm not going to say how, but this phrase here that Padme is saying, whew, it speaks volumes to today's world. Volumes to today's world. They're doing a Stormtrooper movie? Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she knows what she's talking about, but I'm saying like in real life. Like what she's saying can apply in that statement about how, what if we're on the wrong side, blah blah, that speech. Listen to it, and it can be applied to the world today. Today. This movie came out in 2005. It can be applied to Earth in 2021. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not going to answer how specifically, but I'm pretty sure people can pick up on what I'm saying, or what I'm referencing, like what I'm getting at. The way he says "leave us," like so blunt, stern, intense, but also nonchalantly. Like again, how would you not get suspicious of that man? He went from like a full tonal shift like that, which is perfect for Palpatine as a character. Like it fits him. But still, wouldn't that make you like that was very stern, blunt, and to the point, and it was a complete like facial expression change and everything. Like, huh? All who gain power are afraid to lose it. Mm-hmm. That can also relate to something in the real world. Plagueis the Wise. It's a Sith the legend. Mm. That's what I mean right there. He knew to say it at that moment. How would you not think that Palpatine put that nightmare in it? Like Palpatine clearly put the nightmare in Anakin, clearly planned all that shit to mess with him, to lead them on this long path down. That half smirk, man. He can't even hold the smirk back when he's talking about murdering his master. Not from a Jedi. He's really creepy. Um, that's tough. I don't want to be basic and say Anakin's, but it is up there. Um, Dooku's was cool because of the curved hill. Darth Maul's was cool because of the dual blade. Mace Windu's was cool because of the purple tint. I guess I got to be basic and say Anakin's. Well, I don't know. I like Qui Gon's. Maybe I'll say Qui Gon. Maybe I'll mix it up and say Qui Gon. I'll do that. He's another Jedi I really like. I like Qui Gon quite a lot. Like if Qui Gon lasted and like hypothetically survived the events of the Phantom Menace, then obviously Anakin wouldn't have turned to the dark side because he would have had Qui Gon bringing him up. I'm not saying Obi-Wan. You know what I mean? Like I just think that was truly the beginning. Like if Qui Gon had been there, I think Qui Gon combined with Obi Wan would have prevented Anakin from turning. I really do. But regardless, if I can't say Anakin because I don't want to sound too basic, I'll say Qui Gon. You got to. Heck, they even brought Qui Gon in for the Clone Wars show relating to Anakin. So They have to bring him in for the Kenobi show. If you're bringing in Hayden, you got to bring in Liam back. Even if we don't even see him in the Qui-Gon like outfit, you need to at least have him do some voice acting so they can like hear his voice. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen. Yeah, I mean Luke's was I like Luke's too. I've always been an Anakin guy. I've always preferred Anakin over Luke by like a country mile. But I find that with people who watch the prequels first are that way, and the people who watch the originals prefer Luke. So I've watched the prequels first, so I prefer Anakin. I need to resituate over here. Damn, my finger is so sore from when I like messed up my freaking nail and almost got it ripped off. Ugh. That shit gonna be hurting for days. Yeah, like here's my nail. You see that redness right there? Where it should be pink? That's how far the nail got ripped back. That right there. That's how far the nail got ripped back. And it was because I was trying to take a freaking a guard off of my beard trimmer. It wouldn't come off. And I was pulling on it and pulling on it and it wouldn't come off. Now, don't get me wrong. I did like that. And I actually did cry when I saw it. I actually teared up a little bit. That's like my most viral reaction was the Luke Skywalker one on my TikTok. And that was just me recording myself in the moment reacting to that scene. Like I saw the X-Wing pop up and I'm like, and then I paused it and I rewinded it because I had a feeling that I knew who it was. Yeah, a lot of people like when that episode was popular, a lot of people uploaded reactions to it and they blew up. Like the first part, or like the first part of my reaction to that got like almost 50,000 views. That was my most viral TikTok. The first part of my reaction to the Luke Skywalker part. Now, granted, I didn't post everything. I posted like 2 or 3 parts worth of it. But the first part was my most viral video ever. It got like 50,000 views. It was insane. You're going to take a long time scrolling, my man, to find it, but it's there. That's what it was. That's what made me. That's what made me tear up. Was seeing the similarities from Anakin to Luke, and I never got to see it. That was what I was waiting for. I wanted to see something in Luke that reminded me of Anakin, and I didn't quite get anything until that scene. And here was the big one. It was the final droid, the final like droid where he goes like this, where he like where he's choking it and he goes like that. That was so Anakin, and it made me tear up in that moment because in that moment I saw him finally as Anakin's son. I was just like, that hit me right here. It hit me right in the heart. Oh, I had another viral video of mine that got around 50,000 views, but it was political, so it violated community guidelines. You know what was so funny about it violating community guidelines? It was literally me showing an article and making this face. That was violating community guidelines. I thought it was just funny. I just laughed. When I saw that happen, I just laughed. I just laughed and deleted the video because if I left it up on there, if you scrolled through it, all you would see is you'd see a black screen, and you'd see the words TikTok, and you'd say video removed for violating guidelines or something. That's all you'd see. And it's stupid. It was literally an article with me going like, and then I like moved away, and then you could see the article. That was literally the whole video. And now we're getting to the best meme. We're almost at hello there. Speaking of that did you hear about what happened with Star Wars Theory? Like the reaction he had, and people in Lucasfilm were making fun of him for it. They were making fun of him for having an emotional reaction to a character that Lucasfilm at one point in time created. It was the stupidest thing I ever seen. I was so upset, and I was so on Theory's side. Like it's literally just a dude watching an episode and him having an emotional attachment to a character. And literally, someone in freaking the story group of Lucasfilm was making fun of Star Wars Theory for having an emotional reaction. Yet they supported the dude who cried during the Rise of Skywalker trailer. The hypocrisy was looming with that one. And I loved it. That dude, I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to say his name. If you watch Star Wars Theory, you know of the guy's name that he is. I know his name. I'm just not going to say it on my live stream. That works within Lucasfilm and still does. Um, his word, the closest thing to an apology we got out of him. He apologized. He apologized. But after apologizing, and the way I'm using air quotes, yeah, okay. You do know the guy's name, right? And he is the GOAT. He's like, you do like his subscriber count is almost as high as the Star Wars YouTube channel. That's how like great and how beloved he is. Yeah, Theory's awesome. That's somebody I'd like to meet too at some point. He's in Canada, so I don't know how that would work out. But if I ever ran into Star Wars Theory, that'd be awesome. But yeah, that dude from Lucasfilm, like I'm not Theory, so I can't get too worked up about it. But ugh, the most worked up I'll say is he can take the opinion he said on Twitter and take it and shove it. Because he apologized, but while he was apologizing, he kept the tweet he did making fun of Theory as his background. I know, right? There's no one that matches him. You know what's funny is he has beef with other Star Wars channels. And it's not that he has beef with them, it's that they have beef with him. It's ridiculous. Like Star Wars Explained. Like Star Wars Explained has beef with Star Wars Theory. And bro, he roasted the ever living F out of Star Wars Explained one time, and it was so hilarious. He was talking about how like Star Wars Theory, like all the comments and all that stuff was ran by like the woman and stuff. So it's like he made a comment like I can tell who wears the pants in the relationship or something at one point. And I'm like, oh god. It's like, well, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's awesome. Fuck, man, I missed the meme. God damn it. Hello there, General Kenobi. I freaking missed it. I was too caught up in the moment. Ooh, the Spider Crawly by Grievous. I want to see his Mace Windu fan film. Like the next Vader one because it's gonna have Mace Windu and stuff in it. Like I want to see that. His Vader stuff is awesome. Spiderbot. I know, right? Spiderbot. Hashtag Spiderbot Grievous. Hashtag Spiderbot Grievous. There we go. Now that's a hashtag you get trending on freaking now that's a hashtag you get trending on Twitter. Hashtag Spiderbot Grievous. Just out of context. No one will know what the hell you're talking about. Commander Cody. He goes from 5 minutes basically FaceTiming with Mace Windu and the whole Jedi, all the Jedi. And then 5 minutes later, he just orders his troopers to turn the cannon and shoot at Obi-Wan within 5 minutes. That ain't ever gonna get trending. But if it did, I'd laugh my ass off too. Like what you would do is you just post pictures of him doing that crawling thing. You'd post a picture or a GIF of it, and you just put hashtag Spiderbot Grievous. That's another thing. How does someone not see Palpatine looking at that? How did Anakin not see in that moment? Come on, man. He's looking at the red screen. Just the Easter eggs and the attention to detail that George puts in is that's also unmatched. Yeah, you got a point. From certain death. Certainly like to. Man, this finger's gonna hurt for a while. If I turn the lights off, you won't be able to see me. If I turn the lights off, you ain't gonna be able to see me. Here, I'll turn the lights off for one quick second, just so you can see what it will be like. We're about to get to the how uncivilized. Look, I'm gonna turn the lights off. Well, actually, you can kind of see me. Never mind. I thought you wouldn't be able to see me. Forget I said that. Most times you can't see me though when the lights are off. You can't see me very well. So I guess this is one of the few times it works. Oh man. God damn it. I hate having to like freaking resituate. Now this is cinema. Art. It's cinema at its finest. That was the last mistake Mace Windu did. Anakin wanted to go with Mace Windu and fight alongside all those Jedi. Should have let him. I've seen episode one, and then I haven't logged back on to see the other ones. I do really like it. I just need to one get the time to do it and log back in at some point and watch it. But yeah, I do think it's really good. I just haven't watched all of it yet. But I am glad to see it's already gotten like renewed because I like the style of it. Mm. I like how it rips off DC in the beginning. Like what was it? Darkwing was obviously Batman. War Woman, it was obviously that was Wonder Woman. It's possible. I don't think he chose the dark side until he cut off Mace Windu's hand, though. he was obviously contemplating both joining the dark or standing on the light, and he knew the consequences of doing either or. But I think he didn't make the final decision until he was under pressure and cut off Mace Windu's hand. That was like the tipping point. Like he wanted to save Padme. He didn't want to lose someone, just like he lost his mother. And it was a similar style. He had visions. He didn't listen to them, or he didn't listen to them early enough, and that led to her death. He didn't want to experience Padme that the same way, so he tried to listen to them earlier and tried to prevent it. You will die. Unlimited power. Well, Anakin, to catch up, you were in a Jedi temple. You were contemplating your life choices. And then you walked up here. No, you just joined the dark side. You're talking about the promise to save her from death. Yes and no. In his mind, in his heart of hearts, he was doing something that he thought he was going to get the knowledge to save her from death. That's what he was believing. Now, if you're saying he broke the promise by not staying in the Jedi Temple, yeah, He couldn't deal with the conflict going on in his head, so he decided to go in the moment and deal with it. I still believe in that moment he was going there with the intent to help seize and arrest Palpatine. It was just the moment knowing that if he didn't do anything, Palpatine was going to get killed by Mace Windu, and he would lose any chance in his mind of saving Padme. So he helped kill Mace Windu. In that moment, he realized that he just joined the dark side, and he pledged to Palpatine so that he can save Padme. That was the whole point. And then there are people that say, well, after Padme died, why wouldn't he go back? Why wouldn't he abandon? Uh, True. Oh, yep, that's true. I mean, he was a powerful Jedi Knight, but you also hear him in episode 2 say certain things like, um, him and Padme having that conversation, and Padme saying that's not a democracy, that sounds like a dictatorship or something. And he goes, well, if it works. So they did do good foreshadowing. Show no mercy. Whew, we're about to get into my second favorite scene in the whole movie. I know. I would have been like only 4 or 5 years old. No, it came out in May, I believe, of 2005. So it would have been, I would have been 4 years old. So I wouldn't remember it, even if I did watch it in theaters. But yeah, if like, I need to keep up with this. And if and when they do a re release of this in theaters, I need to watch it in the theater. Order 66. My second favorite scene in the movie right here. One of my favorite Star. It's my top one of my top three Star Wars moments. Order 66. The music too, man. John Williams is a fucking genius. After watching the Clone Wars, man, that's what you need to do. When you're introducing someone to Star Wars, make them watch it in chronological order, stop before they watch episode 3. Make them watch the Clone Wars up until the part where Anakin turns to the dark side. Make them watch episode 3, and they will be hard, like their heart will be shattered because Ki-Adi-Mundi's in the Clone Wars, and he gets killed off very quickly. Ayla Secura gets killed off right here. That'll be much more emotional. And Plo, oh my God. I cried a whole new way, man, seeing Plo Koon die. Oh my God. That's the real way to do it. That's how you really get an emotional reaction out of somebody. Make them watch 1, 2, Clone Wars up until the part where you know Anakin turns bad. 3. Then they can finish the Clone Wars. Then 4, 5, 6, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, yeah. Here we go. Here's what you were referencing, Pulley. We're getting it. Skywalker. There are too many of them. What are we going to do? That's a pretty underrated character in Star Wars, Bail Organa. I think he's underrated. Chewie. Chewie's up there on my Star Wars characters too. Chewie's always up there. I used to be able to do a pretty good Chewbacca. Probably not so much anymore though, but I used to be able to. Yeah, man. Ugh, getting a little late for me. Getting close to late, anyway. Yeah, I like Chewie. I like Han and Chewie, man. That's a good duo. He's the best original trilogy character, in my opinion, is Han Solo. He's definitely my favorite of the original trilogy. Mhm. My phone. Okay, there's my phone. I check my phone every once in a while. Anybody? Not so loud. I do like C3PO and R2D2. They're a little bickering like an old married couple. I think it's funny. I think it's a good time for maybe a snack, dessert type snack. I probably need to get up and get my water, but I think I could probably just chill here for. Yeah, they do argue a lot. Like R2 and 3PO argue a lot. It's kind of crazy. I bet they have like a sibling dynamic to them because they argue so much. 3PO is definitely the younger sibling. He gives off younger sibling vibes to me because he's so like sensitive. Whereas R2 just kind of gets like PO'd at him and just goes off on his own path. It's like an older sibling does. It's like, duh, I'm done. I'm done with your crap. Feel so helpless. Never ate this Pop Tart. You need to eat it. The s'mores one. It's really good. This is probably my second favorite Pop Tart has to be the s'mores one, and then my favorite one has to be the chocolate chip. About to get my favorite part. My favorite thing in Star Wars. The Anakin and Obi-Wan fight. It's probably my favorite thing in Star Wars, period. Meaning everything Star Wars. My favorite thing, the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight. Oh yeah, he takes care of him all right. Anakin takes care of him all right. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely the messagery and the vibes that were given to the creation, of course. I feel so bad for R2 right here. He's so stressed. Heck, I got emotional. I didn't get too emotional when I watched it the first time because I was pretty little, but back when I would watch it around the time I was anywhere from 11 to 13, I got a little emotional, but really hit me emotionally when I was around 14 to 15. That's when I started understanding a lot of the messagery and emotions in movies, and then seeing the artistry and wanting to be involved behind the scenes. That was towards the end of high school in my senior year, and the final nail in the coffin of yes, I want to pursue filmmaking as a dream thing was the intro to filmmaking class I did first semester of college. What was that? Oh, I like this quote about to come up here from Padme. Same. You understand his perspective. That's what makes a villain good and intriguing and a good character. Is you understand why they chose the decision they did. And in a different world, they could be the hero. That's what I view to be good villains. Yep. The yellow eyes, that's the ticket right there. Empire. So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause. Mm. only pain will you find. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. That sucks, man. Having to fight to kill someone that was like your brother. From himself. Talk about feeling bad for somebody. I feel bad for Padme right now. He's become a very grave threat. Makes me upset what happens to R2 and 3PO after this movie. Getting their minds wiped. Like, that sucks. I would have liked their mind not have been wiped. Because then in episode 9, when C3PO gets hooked up to, like, the thing, and it causes him to, like, recite the Sith holocron, you know? And it messes with his memory and stuff. Imagine if they unplugged him and he called for Master Anakin, Master Annie. Bro, you know how hard that would have hurt. How hard that would have hit. That's what I wanted them to do. That's what I wanted them to do so bad. And if they didn't get their minds wiped in episode 3, it could have happened. That would have made me. Now that one would have really made me cheer up. In Rise of Skywalker, if they did that, but it wouldn't have worked because C-3PO and R2 got their minds wiped after episode 3. Okay, Anakin runs to Padme. They make up. He comes back to light. The end. Okay, the end. Happy ending. Oh, I wish you would have worded that better. Woo. Oh, happy ending. Oh my god. I mean, by the literal definition, yes, but I hope you don't know what I'm laughing about. Oh, good. That's funny. Happy ending. Uh, I can overthrow him. Ooh, the galaxy. Make things the way we want them to be. I don't want to hear any more about Obi-Wan. Jedi turn against me. Don't you turn against me. Because of Obi-Wan. Liar! You're with him. You brought him here to kill me. Go. Yourself. You will not take her from me. Your anger and your lust for power have already done that. Dark Lord to twist your mind until now you become the very thing you swore to destroy. Don't let me, Obi-Wan. I see through the lies of the Jedi. I don't fear the dark side as you do. I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire. Your new empire? Don't make me kill you. My allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must. You will try. I'm happy to. Hayden's Anakin has always been my favorite thing about Star Wars. Period. I've never hated on him, not once. That's someone I would love to meet in the Star Wars world more than anybody. Because his Anakin had more like I like his Anakin more, so much more than anything else in Star Wars. When all these conventions come back, I need to meet Hayden. Need to meet him. If I can get an Anakin's got a lightsaber, I want to get him to sign it too. Oh, so good. So great. I mean, you can't blame me. It's an iconic scene. And now we are watching my favorite scene in Star Wars. And not soon enough it was. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I watched this movie, I kind of wanted Anakin to win because I didn't want him to. I didn't want him to get hurt. I obviously knew he was the bad guy, but I was a lot younger then. I didn't understand the consequences of all that stuff. Another great shot. Pushing each other with the lava behind them. First time I ever watched this movie, I almost laughed at that moment because of how it's shot with Yoda like walking through that small like little tube like area, like how it fit, how it's shot. It's like his head is like poking through the screen, you know. So the first time I watched it, I like kind of chuckled at that. Yeah, it's a great shot. Failed. I have. Is it bleeding again? I can't tell if the finger's bleeding again or not. It's sore. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And I didn't understand why it got the PG-13 rating first time I was watching it until like when Anakin gets like freaking burned up, and that then I understood why it was PG-13. Now like freaking all the Star Wars stuff is PG-13. Imagine if that place was real and you were Anakin right now, wearing all that black cloaks, all those black fabrics and black leather on a volcanic planet. You'd be sweating off half your body weight every hour. And you are lost. It's the end for you, my master. Don't Anakin. I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. Yeah, seriously, please don't try it. No, 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 no. And he still tried it. You just didn't try it. If you just would have normally jumped, you might have been able to win. Mm. Every time I hear this, it still gets me in here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Damn, I've been live 3 hours. Luke and Leia. I struggle to see it, but apparently this is the Empire logo. Like the aerial shot before it goes, like gets on Anakin's side. That's supposed to be the Empire logo. She was right. Now here comes the part where some prequel haters want to make fun of the people who like the prequels. Which I never understood why you make fun of Darth Vader screaming out the word no. It's just a showcase of the human behind all that exterior, which we get to see in Return of the Jedi. It's just echoing that, but in the prequels, in a more tragic sense. quite gone. It's late, but if anyone hops in between now and when the movie ends, or you hop in as the movie ends, when the movie ends, if you want to hop in for a quick second and hop on, you can. If not, that's all cool, and I'll wrap up. Just use that link right there. Everybody's favorite Jar Jar. Makes me makes me so sad that that Padme had the necklace that Anakin gave her when she got buried at her funeral. Very sad. Mm-hmm. 27. I just thought it was sad that she got at her funeral. You know, they allowed her to, like, in the casket and stuff, have the necklace that Anakin gave her. I just thought that was very that hits you right in the feels. And here we go. The perfect, the binary sunset. Well, all right. Written and directed by George Lucas. That's when you know it's good. But if anyone wants to hop in for a split second, you can with that link right there. And just in case, I'd be willing to put it in there a second time. Boom. I even put it in there twice in the span of 5 minutes. If anyone wants to hop in, the movie's over. You can come in for a split quick second. And then I got to do wrap up. Oh, yeah, that's a cool shot of them looking at the Death Star. Seeing it in the early construction when it's just literally like just metal and the form of it all. Like, I think that's cool. Hayden. Hayden. Ugh. Let's turn the effing lights on. Oh no, the lights are in. You left your lights on. Oh shit. No, wrong one. There we go. Let me get that there. All right, there we go. And eject. Jay, anyone feel free to use that link if you want to hop in. Right before I start doing wrap up, come on and talk for a bit. I would on the phone. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like anyone's going to hop on anyway. And plus, it is late. And my iPad is at like 40%. And it was at 100% when we started the live. So this is a pretty good live. I appreciate the people that are on right now watching. I appreciate the people that watch all the way through or, hopped on any point. I gained at least one subscriber that I know throughout the live. I appreciate that one. I'd like to scroll. Gosh, how far back was it? Dang, I guess it was too far back for me to. Yeah, I think it was too far back for me to find it. Yeah, it was. Anyway, that new subscriber, I appreciate them. That little vote of confidence. And again, people watching right now, I appreciate that you're watching right now. People that were watching at any point, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this little watch party. To my favorite Star Wars movie, my favorite thing in Star Wars, period. Close second would be the Clone Wars. Glad you enjoyed it. You too, Paulie, you too. But I appreciate you guys watching. It's late. I need to lay down. I'm about to go to sleep. Appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next one. Some of my next videos I'm going to do. At one point, I'm going to finally sit down and do that Tokyo Ghoul Season 1 review. If I can start watching some of like the DC shows, I'll do some reviews on that. I might do some DC animated reviews, maybe. Can't really think of what other things I could do video-wise. I mean, when the new movies come out on HBO Max, they're out in theaters, like Conjuring 3, obviously. I'll review that. Army of the Dead, you can bet your sweet ass. Like, if I don't find a way to try and get into a theater on May 14th or 15th to watch that, I'll be watching it May 21st, probably as it drops. I'll probably be doing a live stream on here or on my Instagram, waiting for it to drop late at night and then watching it as it drops. I may do that. So that's what you can expect coming up. Again, appreciate you guys watching this. See you in the next one. Adios.